There are many files and sub-files on the RFK murder. I'm going to talk about that now very quickly before I get into other issues in this video. There is a file on a Donald David Evangelista, which is an FBI file. He was tied to the mob at the time of the RFK murder. He used the alias Donald Wixon. He left LA one day after the murder, which is highly suspicious. He only worked in the Ambassador Hotel restaurant from May 17th through June 19th of 1968. He only worked there a month, and he quit right after RFK was murdered. Highly suspicious. He may have been involved in it. I believe he was probably a mob hitman. Another interesting piece of evidence which proves a plot in the stalking of RFK by the plotters is a woman, Karen Ross, saw the mysterious polka dot dress girl at a June 2nd RFK rally in Coconut Grove, California. They stalked him. They wanted to kill him, and they may have tried to kill him at previous engagements before he was actually killed, weeks to months ahead of the murder. Now I'm going to talk about bugs in phone lines and phone taps and miscellaneous information that proves conspiracy in my opinion. Why did the Department of Defense get a phone line into the LAPD according to Lisa Pease and her book? It reeks of military-industrial complex involvement. NBC couldn't get behind the stage after RFK won. A female reporter was turned away by a man in a blue suit. I believe it was David Morales. Or another plotter, probably Morales, according to the corroboration of the evidence. How did Sirhan get into the pantry? No one knows. Two witnesses saw him arguing with Thane Eugene Caesar to get in right before the murder. More than 10 people saw the polka dot dress girl with odd people by the guy with the blue suit, which I think was Morales. The man in the maroon coat, I believe, is Eugene Hal Brading. He had a radio to his cheek all night. He was watching the Southwest fire exit all night. I believe he was involved in the RFK hit, just like he was involved in the JFK murder. It was Eugene Hal Brading. There was also a man in the gold shirt. He was seen by tons of witnesses all over the hotel that night. He was not dressed right for the event. Some people even used a Latin term to describe him as being dressed as an oddball for this event. Sandy Serrano saw him with Sirhan and the polka dot dress girl as corroborated by others, many others, that night. 3 other women who wore polka dot dress patterns or dresses were involved in the plot in my opinion. I'm going to get more into that in subsequent videos. I'm not referring to Valerie Schulte. She was an RFK volunteer, not the polka dot dress girl that I'm talking about here. They wore polka dots to throw the police and the people off, in my opinion. Sirhan may have been memorized by polka dots as part of his mind control, which I'm going to talk about in more videos later. Many people looked like Sirhan. A woman whispered in Sirhan's ear outside of the embassy room right before RFK was murdered. John Fahey's girl, which I referenced in my first evidence video, is not the polka dot dress girl. In my view, she lied about everything. I believe she was either Turkish or Arabic. I think she was involved in it for the money. How she really fits in, we may never know. I think she was a CIA plant or some sort of an operative involved in this case, but not the polka dot dress girl. See, one thing you have to realize, CIA people, when you join the CIA, they sign an NDA until they die, meaning they have to lie about everything they do with the CIA until death. Meaning, when these kind of plots are carried out, whoever is involved in them, they contract out to patsies, quote-unquote cutouts, or murderers, or oddball people to take the fall. That way, if it's not successful, they can hide behind the national security laws and their agency to get away with it and blame it on others. I think it was a massive CIA operation. The LA public defender even saw 3 cars of Cubans being directed by Ace Security right before the murder in the back of the hotel. They had backup plans, which is similar to the JFK murder. I've researched that RFK and JFK were not going to be allowed to leave these areas alive. I've researched in the JFK murder, if they would not have killed him in Dealey Plaza, according to the research around E. Howard Hunt, he and others had a plan to blow up the entire motorcade with a bomb. It's no different in this case. They had backup plans. Now I'm going to talk about Robert Mahe. 2 sources, according to Lisa Pease, said he was an organizer of the plot. He had a nexus to the CIA, the MI6, the LA cops and the mob, and other killers. He was in the same FBI class as Bill Harvey. You may remember him from the JFK murder. I believe he was a CIA organizer, a key one of the JFK murder. He was a fixer for Howard Hughes. He worked with Peter Pitchess when he was with the CIA. Pitchess was later with the LA police right around this time. At the end of this video, I'm now going to talk about the John Meyer diary. Who was John Meyer? Well, according to the Lisa Pease book, he was a top aide for Howard Hughes from 1966 to 1970. You have to realize Hughes' organization was largely a right-wing CIA front. Hughes was one of the most powerful men in the world, maybe the most powerful. Hughes was tight with CIA spy James Angleton, and John Meyer claimed in the diary that Robert Mahe had organized RFK's murder. He claimed that Robert Mahe and Don Nixon, the brother of Richard Nixon, were ecstatic. They were very happy that RFK was dead because it led to Nixon becoming president. According to Meyer, Thane Eugene Caesar was introduced to him by Robert Mahe's friend Jack Hooper. Caesar worked for Howard Hughes, which is a big shock. After the murder, when John Meyer tried to talk to Robert Mahe about Caesar, Mahe threatened to fire him. Why? Bel Air was a CIA front, among others, owned by Robert Mahe. Caesar had also worked for Robert Mahe. Caesar was a CIA agent, which I talked about in previous videos. I've seen in other research that he was tied to Howard Hughes. He was trying to get a job in the casino, in a casino in Vegas. He was tied to the casino industry and the gaming industry. It's no different than Hank Hernandez and Manny Pena trying to get higher up in the CIA by helping the CIA to cover up the crime. It's the same type of stuff here. Many of these people were trying to get ahead in society through the killing of RFK, but it was still a large CIA operation, in my opinion. There was a massive cover-up in the plot. Manny Pena had worked for AID, which I talked about earlier, which is a CIA front. That's one of the reasons I think Trump got rid of it. Pena had provided massive cover for the CIA in this situation, meaning the real truth was not being allowed to get out. I've also researched further back, I am practically an expert on the JFK murder, that Robert Mahe was probably the guy who brought the mob into the CIA plot to kill John Kennedy. That's pretty much it with this video at this point. You have to realize the CIA was heavily involved, and they were heavily involved in the cover-up. Pena provided massive cover for them. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. Please make a note. My next video is going to be on the CIA mind control of Sirhan Sirhan. Have a great 4th, everyone. It's free to subscribe.